right, everybody, Tanner Milne here with your tool of the week. This week, I'm going to do a book review. I read at least one book a week, and so I don't do book reviews very often. But this one has been probably over the last at least 4 or 5 weeks. I've recommended this book to a number of people that have asked for a specific recommendation or something I've been real stoked on. And this one, the book, the Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, John Mark Comer. Let me just disclaimer: if you are super non-religious or offended by anything religious, probably not the book for you. The author is what I see as a non-denominational Christian pastor, and so there is a lot of weaving and tying into talking about Jesus. And so if you are super offended by a conversation about or any mention of Jesus, probably not. You can probably X out and be done with this conversation. Although I do think, independent of the religious flow throughout the book, which is I found extremely good for me and right and exciting and inspiring, there's really a lot of good material, and I'm just going to focus on 2 things that I took away from this, and I'll just kind of highlight in these 2 slides here. So something really interesting, I'm not going to read word for word here, but one of the things in this, consumerism, pursuit of more and more and more, this is a really great, and I'm going to include in here the PDF, so I'm not going to read everything in here, but the before I buy list, pretty awesome. And it doesn't matter where you are in your life and your career. I think this is a really good check-in with sort of where you are in your pursuit of things. For me, the 3 areas that are most important to me are relationships, experience, and knowledge. And I try to assess everything. Will this enhance the relationship? Will this create a lifelong experience or memory? And will I obtain, new knowledge? Something I feel like, the obtainment of things and money, I'm not taking any of that with us. Independent of what you believe happens after this life, I feel like this turned into a whole religious discussion today. But anyways, move on. Next. So before you buy, really great. Think about this. Take a minute to even just read these while I'm talking, and you've got something of value. Next one. Why can't I progress here in the next slide? Okay. Ideas for slowing down. Now this, I've talked to a few different people about this, and it causes some freak out. I admittedly, I've tried a few of these. I think I read this book maybe 5 weeks ago, or finished this book 5 weeks ago, and my wife and I have had this conversation. She actually read it first, told me I needed to read it, probably like a super indirect, like, you really freaking need to read this. But she's like, you would love this book, you really need this. But slow down your body, slow down your life. Just this, enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey. But these are 7 things that I think are really, really interesting. One thing I'll note, I have been, in my younger years, like my high school years, I was accused as a starer. Dude stares a lot. And I still stare a lot. I'm an observer. I'm constantly observing what's happening around me. My wife thinks that angels drive in the car with me because I'm looking at everything else. And maybe, my excuse is being a real estate guy most of my life. I want to see what's happening. I'm always just paying attention to that. But the truth is, I'm an observer. And one thing that I've noted as I've read this book is just observing more of the interesting things. I'm not going to pass any sort of judgment, but man, we are all in a freaking hurry. I am in a hurry. Everyone else is in a hurry. And boy, I think life would be sweeter. Engagements, interactions, conversations, little moments would be sweeter if we just slowed down a little bit. So have a great week. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.